In today's video, I will tell you how to test the inverter refrigerator compressor. So, let me give you all these details. When the compressor is installed in the refrigerator, its electric supply is covered with this protective cover, which you can see here right now. I will remove this protective cover. This protective cover comes in different designs in different refrigerator compressors, and some of these protective covers are grabbed with a metal strip. You will first have to remove this metal strip to open this protective cover in those compressors. Now, you can see some things over here. It is a connector here, and an overload is installed on the top. I will tell you this as well. What is the purpose to install this overload here in the compressor? Because in DC compressor we don't need overloads to be installed. But see here, an overload is installed in this DC compressor, so I will make you understand this as well. If this overload is not coming out, pull it out with the help of a screwdriver. See, I will pull it out. This way, the overload will be out of the compressor terminals. Now, see, this has an overload installed on the top. These are 3 holes for the compressor terminals. Now, if I zoom the camera in, it has 3 and 2 wires on the sides. What is the purpose of these 5 wires? The DC compressors need 3 wires as it is 3-phase? Let me tell you that this is a Samsung refrigerator, and what is the purpose of these 2 extra wires? I will explain all these things to you. Watch the video complete to understand all these things. First, let me tell you that to test the DC compressor, always do its body test. Because its winding is shorted with the body compressor, or leakage in its winding. Testing it first is most important, as due to which the compressor consumes high amperes, and then the compressor overloads and the system will shut the compressor. So, first of all, you have to do this, attach any probe of the multimeter with any compressor terminal. After this, touch another probe with the body of the compressor. And if you see any resistance, value, or continuity on the multimeter, then it will mean that the compressor is short and the time is to replace it. The same we will check it with all the terminals one by one. It will be much better. As if it will have another problem, we will know it. As you can see, the multimeter is not showing anything with another terminal. It means it is okay. The next test is to check the compressor winding resistance. We will set the multimeter now to resistance mode, which is measured in ohms, kilo ohms, and if you have an auto detect multimeter it is better. Then after this, I will attach the probes of the multimeter on 2 terminals of the compressor. So the multimeter is showing us a value, which is 12.9 ohms, which means one of our winding is okay. Then remove one of the probes and attach it to the next terminal. And see, the value is again 12.9 ohms on the multimeter. So both the terminals have the same value. Now I will change the position of the terminals. I will take the red probe on the downward terminal, and the black on the top terminal of the compressor. And these 2 terminals will also be checked out. The value here is 12.6, which is almost the same, not a big difference. The difference is in point, which is negligible. But if these terminal values will have a big difference while testing. For example, if one is 12.9 ohms and the other terminal is 20.6 ohms, then it means the compressor winding is bad and the time has come to change the compressor. Now let me tell you the purpose of installing 2 extra wires here. See, this pink wire has come from the power supply. Its purpose is that whenever any fluctuations happen in the electricity, it cuts off the electricity, the overload will trip down and save the compressor. And what will be the way to check it? See, I will start by checking the pink wire. Then, I will attach one probe of the multimeter on the pink wire and set it on continuity mode. And where do I have to attach the second probe? You can see this is the main PCB of the Samsung refrigerator. The main electricity is coming over here, and it will be powered. Still, the IPM PCB will not power if this wire gets disconnected or overload gets tripped. So I will connect the second probe with the connector. While checking, you will hear a beeping voice on continuity mode on the multimeter, which means this wire is okay. Then, I will test the next wire, and I attached one of the probes on the red wire. After that, the other probe will be installed with the red wire of the IPM board connector, which is its power supply, and you will hear a beep sound on this wire as well, which means it is perfectly okay. If all these wires are okay, you will check the overload, and the way to test an overload is simple and easy. Connect one probe on one side of the terminal of the overload and the other on the second terminal. You will hear continuity beep voice on the multimeter. If it has no beep voice, then it means this overload is bad. Change the overload, and your system will be back to normal, and this is for today. See you in the next one.
Life in a world that keeps changing. Think that it's progress you're making. Copy and paste pretty faces all the time. Pictures so perfect we play through, only cause you set up the angle. Web that you weave got us tangled, caught in what's before.